Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a VR for White Sox fan card collector. He's celebrating his 200th subscriber, and he asked us to do a VR to show our favorite chase card. He's got a great channel. If you guys aren't subscribed to his channel, by the way, you definitely should subscribe to it. He's got all kind of great content in it. I really enjoy watching his channel. So the chase card VR that he asked us to do. I had this specific card on my list for years, and I was ready to pick it up in late 2020, and the price had just kind of gone through the roof. And I bid on a bunch of auctions in 2020, 2021, and I never got it. Bid through even through 2022. I probably did 6 to 8 auctions and lost all of them. Then at the end of 2022, I was trying to negotiate a 51 mantle with a seller, and we went back and forth for probably a week, and he wasn't willing to go to the price point that I kind of wanted him to go to. So I walked away from it, threw in the towel. I was not thrilled about that. I was actually in a pretty bad mood that night. So my wife's like, "Hey, let's watch an episode of Yellowstone," which I thought was always fun and put me in a little bit better mood, I think. So we watched the episode of Yellowstone. I was still sort of frustrated while we were watching it, so I decided to pull out my phone and check out eBay, and I saw that there was an auction for this specific car that I'm going to talk about that only had about 3 hours left, and the price was about 60% less than what it was selling for in that grade historically for the last couple of years. So I bid $25 more than the current bid at the time, and that was it. I checked it 3 hours later, and I had won the card. So super happy about that, and wanted to show the card off. So without further ado, all right, guys. So the card, this chase card that I wanted to show, is this guy right here, the 1939 play ball Ted Williams in a PSA 4. I love the look of this card. This one specifically I love because it's very well centered, both front and back. But I love the look of the card. I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of this one. They like his leaf cards more, or even his 41 play ball, the color drawing. But I personally, I think this is my favorite Ted Williams card from a look perspective. So even though I'm a Yankees fan, I consider Ted Williams to be the best hitter of all time and one of the top 5 overall players in baseball history. He was a 19-time All-Star. He won 2 Triple Crowns. Oddly enough, he won 2 MVPs, but neither of his MVP seasons were the seasons he won the Triple Crown. He could hit for average and for power. He's the last player to bat over 400 in this season, and he's also in the 500 home run club. He has the highest career on-base percentage of all time, which obviously is an important stat because the more times you get on base, the more opportunities you have to score runs, right? And that's the name of the game. Kind of as a side note, he was close to winning his 3rd Triple Crown. No player's ever won more than 2. I think only 2 other players have won 2, is Ted Williams and Rogers Hornsby had won 2 Triple Crowns. But Ted Williams was very, very close. He led the league in home runs and RBIs and didn't quite lead the league in batting average. He missed it by .0001. So the guy that did lead the league that season beat him out by 1/10,000th of a point, and had he had basically one more walk or one more hit that season, he would have had his 3rd Triple Crown. So it goes to show how great of a player Ted Williams was. So here's his breakdown, his career breakdown. He had a .344 career batting average, putting him 8th of all time in MLB history. He had a .482 on base percentage. Like I said earlier, that's the best all time. He had a .634 slugging, so it's 2nd of all time behind only Babe Ruth. He had a .191 adjusted OPS plus, putting him 2nd all time, again behind Babe Ruth. He had 1,798 runs scored, putting him 20th all time. But other than Lou Gehrig, every player that had more career runs than Ted Williams played significantly more seasons. Just as a side note, Ted Williams lost 2 seasons in the prime of his career to go fight in the military. So he was protecting our country. He's a patriot. He's a veteran, he's a war hero, and he gave up 2 of his prime seasons to do that. If he didn't do that, he probably would have stats that would put him even higher. I would, potentially put him, top 3 players of all time if he would. I think if he was able to play those 2 seasons that he didn't play because he was fighting in the war. He had 521 career home runs, putting him 20th all time. His last major league hit was a home run. Actually, it was the last major league at bat was a home run. He holds a record for the longest home run at Fenway Park, and it's memorialized by the red chair in right field. He had 1,839 RBIs, putting him 16th all time. And again, every player that has more RBIs in a career played more seasons than him other than Lou Gehrig. He had 2,021 walks, putting him 4th all time, which goes to show that he has one hell of an eye. And his 10.9 at bats per strikeout is by far the best of any member of the 500 home run club. So he turned hitting into a science. The season he hit 406, he went into the final day of the season. It was a doubleheader, hitting 400. He chose to play both games. The manager gave him an option to sit out to keep his 400, and he chose to play. He went 6 for 8 and ended the season with a 406. I can't even imagine the amount of confidence you have to have in yourself to be willing to take that risk, and he did, and it paid off for him. So Ted Williams, in my eyes, one of the best players of all time, the best hitter of all time, and this card right here was kind of my ultimate chase card that I was able to finally get. Hope you guys enjoyed. All right, guys, I hope you liked that card. The Ted Williams rookie, big fan of it. Obviously, big fan of Ted Williams as well as a player. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel. Also, subscribe to White Sox Fan Card Collector as well if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks.